I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but if you ever heard Admiral Ackbar say it's a trap, you're about to find out. You're about to see a game that perfectly illustrates that. My opponent walks right into it. So I win the dice roll playing against Azusa here. Let me make sure that the magic volume's off. So I'm playing Edric and he's playing Rubinia's Soul Singer. They have a perfectly acceptable draw, especially going first. So I lead off with a clamp into Wirewood Hivemaster, into Edric, of course, and we are on the draw cards gravy train right now. So he plays a pickup land, and so first thing I do is draw 3 cards, followed by a land or elf and a bird, leaving mana leak up, and so I allow him to, of course I can't counter the Soul Ring, and then he plays, and I have Trigon Predator, so I probably wouldn't have anyway, and then he taps out and plays Consecrated Sphinx, and I don't counter it. I've drawn a lot of cards. I've got 7 cards in hand, a conspicuous UU up, and I allow it. So here's a hint. When your opponent lets you have a Consecrated Sphinx, you need to worry. He should have assumed I was going to steal it here. That's the most likely explanation for that. But I don't steal it. I metamorph it. So, I let him have Consecrated Sphinx, and then I clone his Sphinx. This ought to tell him what he should not do. And I attack with just 2 insects. He blocks 1. The other one hits him, and of course I draw a card. And what he should not do is draw cards off his Sphinx. Definitely should not do that. But what he chooses to do, and you'll notice I haven't played a land yet, is he draws. So I'm going to ramp us through this. So I draw, he draws, I draw, he draws. So he decides he wants to play the Consecrated Sphinx game. This is the trap. There is absolutely no way he's going to beat me with Consecrated Sphinx, playing Edric, having not hit a land drop, and still having mana, prior to him having, he doesn't have any. So what I'm looking for, above all else, is Gaia's Cradle. Almost none of this in my hand matters. But in addition to Gaia's Cradle, I would not mind getting cards along the lines of Soul Ring. I wouldn't mind getting Crypt, Vault, Mox Diamond, that type of thing. So we're just going to ramp. I'm not going to show you every little thing that I drew just yet. I'll just show you when I stop. So there's a lot of this, and I guess he thinks like I'm going to deck myself or something. I don't know what he's thinking. But he should have stopped drawing cards long ago. And the thing is, each Sphinx puts 2 triggers, so even when he decides he's had enough and he decides to stop drawing cards, I still have, that's only half the triggers. And then at that point, I have the same number of triggers available to me to draw more cards. So I will show you. Of course, I decide to stop, and I just auto-yield, auto-no on all of them. He decides he's going to keep picking cards up to get maybe caught up with my hand size. So I stopped drawing after I saw Cradle, and then Cradle 1, and then I grabbed like 1 more patch of 2, and then I quit. So there was Cradle. I almost stopped at the map, but I figured I'd keep going a little bit longer, because getting Cradle's the key here. I got the Mana Crypt, and I have the Soul Ring, and I have Force of Will. So this is perfect. So this is what you don't want to do. Anyway, so he lets me have all this good stuff, and this is how I play it out. Crypt into Soul Ring. I play a Mystic using the Cradle, a Boreal Druid using the Cradle, a Tree Speaker, Quirion. And the whole point of this is to produce more and more creatures. And then of course I play Garrick, and floating a blue Deranged Hermit. I'm trying to power up the Cradle, power it up as much as I can get it, as high as I can get it. I Viridian his Soul Ring, Raphaelos, Wood Elves, and then here's what's left in the deck. You can see there's a snap left to untap the cradle, so I'll be getting that shortly. Very little else. Arao's not going to flip. There's a Trastodon left in the deck, so I go ahead and go get Arbor, since that's going to produce more mana for the cradle over time. And then tapping 5 mana, leaving my Bird of Paradise untapped and unused. I also have Quarian Ranger, just in case he had like well, he can't even play Daze if he had it, but I go ahead and snag that. I just have a habit of trying to keep a blue available against decks that might even conceivably run Daze or some sort of effect along those lines. So now I don't have Snap, but I do have Snap in the deck, and I have, where is it? Merchant Scroll. So I can Merchant Scroll for a Snap, and snap Deranged Hermit back to my hand, and then recast the Hermit, and then untap the Cradle again. So it's coming. But first things first, I'm powering up the Cradle some more. Alright, so now it's producing 30 mana, so natural order away one of my dorks to Trastodon triple land. And I guess he gives up. I suppose it might be difficult to come back from this position. But of course I was going to snap and then replay. I had Priest, Witness, Sylvan, Masticore, the Archdruid here, GSZ if I wanted it, Trigon, Regrowth, Secura, so all that was going to come into play. Tezzeret was going to come into play, and then I was going to end the turn with multiple counter spells and a billion mana, and he was going to have no permanents. But he had 39 cards in his hand. Good job. So, I don't know if that situation will ever come up for you, but if you ever get stuck in a Sphinx on Sphinx battle, make sure you're the person who has the mana untapped before you start drawing. I mean, if you don't have to Sphinx just on the first opportunity. There's always your turn. Anyway, this is a version of the deck that I'm using. I've cut out some search effects and some sort of like good. I cut out Imperious Perfect and Fauna Shaman. Actually, of the two, the Fauna Shaman bothers me more, just because I find it really advantageous to be able to go get Areo whenever I want it, along with potentially certain bombs like Deranged Hermit, Eternal Witness, and stuff. But I still have pods, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that game. It was fun, and I thought it'd be worth recording. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.